Hello and welcome to this new video. Well, not really new video, it's basically just old videos that I've re-uploaded and patched together to make one seamless video. So yeah, if you think it's cool, it'd be a lot cooler if you liked, commented and subscribed to this channel. Cheers and enjoy.
Hello everybody, this is an old wood stove I've restored for personal use. It was made in the late 1800s or early 1900s. There are very scarce information on the internet. It was made by FEBO, F-E-B-O, model 70, and it's consisting of 3 cast iron pieces connected via a single circular tube. Cast iron head, cast iron face, and a circular base connected via 3 legs. The tube was made from stainless steel, which I've made by rolling. You can see the seam. Not the best idea, but I do not know how to weld yet. The cast iron head is made from 2 parts. You can see the line connected via screws on both ends, but I didn't bother to disassemble them because they're quite good fitting after all this use. There is a gate with a very beautiful flame pattern, and through this gate you feed the stove with wood. On top there is a lid which is currently broken. I need to fix it, through which you can also feed the wood but cook as well. So this is an original part which was unfortunately broken. You will see in a second. It has a key element which fits into a keyhole, and you just rotate it and place it like so, and you can cook on the open flames. The missing part was a leg that had an anchor point which would fit inside this circular divot. It has a flame moderator, I'm missing a word, regulator, flame regulator, but the index or the indicator is missing. I presume it was made from tiles, from a ceramic tile. The regulator is unfortunately very badly worn and I will need to replace it, but it works even as is. The stainless steel tube has 3 rows of refractory bricks, which are regular refractory bricks which I've cut in half, so there are 8 per row, forming an octagonal within this tube, and there are 3 rows, but the top one is very short, just beneath the base. Overall it's 75 centimeters long from the base to the head. The base plate is just also the same material, just a stainless steel, which I've press fitted into this circular slot. The face has 2 sets of gates, upper and lower. Upper is for operating the fire. You can see a very good latching mechanism, all made from cast iron. It has a internal grate as well, with a shaker which can be pulled and rotated as much as this slot allows, and both the door and the shaker have holes for a tool to operate because it's very hot. Currently it's filled with wood, so we'll make a test run. The inner gate fits very snugly into this slot, so in order to extract the gate, to open it, you need to pull it up and then open it. Very convenient. The lower gate has a flame air intake regulator, just a simple screw mechanism, but I need to fit the screw so each time I open it, it doesn't undo itself. No problem. The only issue I have is that this ashtray is not original, and most of the ashes, since it's a circular design, falls on the sides of this rectangular ashtray. I might just add some wings on the side to help it collect more ashes. So let's do a test run. We already have wood inside. piece of fat wood.
Basically, we've decided to remove the ashtray and just clean it with a hoover or a vacuum cleaner. Mainly because it's a lot cleaner and there's no chances of the ashtray being knocked over or whatever. So I just stick the tube inside and press the switch on. Obviously, when everything is cold.
Let's move upwards. Oh, one thing I forgot to say is the upper gate had 2 more bars through which an inside piece was connected. It's in my workshop. I didn't really use it because it was broken, and in between them there was an asbestos piece connected through these 2 gates via screws. I will just place a simple glass window. I'm not sure how to connect it though. Do you use any fireproof silicone, or do I use screws, or do I make some holes and create a similar latching? I'm not sure. Anyhow, you can see the fire is on its way, and it's gonna smoke a lot until the fire starts. But unfortunately, without the flue, the draft is not. There we go, perfectly. Fire started, smoke stopped. Since there is no flue on this side, the draft will naturally want to go this way because it's a bigger hole. So another piece of modification that I've added was this wine tap, which is basically just a ball valve which goes inside. It's made from brass and it gets very hot, which is convenient until you have to touch it. Why convenient? Because it heats the air inside very, very rapidly, and it won't melt because inside there is a steel tube connected all the way to here. You can actually see it inside, and it has a set of cuts and holes drilled into it. It's not working perfectly at the moment, but I will resolve it in due time. Can we see anything inside? Not yet. There is some problem with the condensation, but that's just because I'm not using properly cured wood. I'm not gonna waste it. I'm just using some pine wood. So stay tuned. I just had to turn the stove a little bit sideways because there is a breeze going in and it's going up the exit hole, and I do not want that. So it's been burning for some 10 minutes. There's virtually no flame whatsoever, even though I'm burning pine. It's supposed to be thick black smoke, but there isn't. Let me just put my gloves on. So the gate here is actually quite cool in front of it. You can hold your hand. Let me just show you. It's warm, but it's, you know, raging hot inside. So when I put this window piece where the asbestos see-through piece was, when I hermetically seal it, it's gonna be even more efficient. I cannot say the same for the shaker or the inner door because, well, they're made from metal, and in order to use them you need to have a tool. So, you know, I just give it a little bit of shake to make things fall so I can feel it a little bit more. Beautiful, beautiful design, and very long lasting. Let's see how the flame is going. Yeah, I usually do not want a fire this big, but since there is virtually no smoke, there is not a problem operating it in the house, and the draft would normally suck the air out the other way, not push it out through these gates. And since the fire is this big, there's no need to feed it anyway at this point. It would be mad. But the gate is doing a very, very good job at stopping the flame, see? The only issue I have is that it leaks smoke here. You can watch the first video and you will see that there is some smoke going out here, and I need to seal it. I do not want any smoke in my house. And if I'm not using this, I will make a custom key just to cover it up. But yeah, let's see how it affects the flame. Yeah, it instantly starts choking it. So I will just make something more efficient. You know, as soon as I turn it, there's no smoke whatsoever. Look, absolutely no smoke. But as I choke it, it starts to smolder and you can see it go places. Really good. I still need to paint it and do some minor repairs, but it's a functional stove ready to be used. There we go. I just did a night test with some pine wood. I have sealed the lower gate with a milky glass. I've just added caulking silicone just to hold it. So it's not really airtight, but a lot more than it used to be. And I have opened the secondary air vent in the back, and you can see the gasification, secondary combustion on the top of the pipe. Let's just do it this way. You can see the pipe inside. It's actually without the cap. The cap is underneath my feet. It goes all the way to the bottom, and it's maybe at 3/4 of the height. So yeah, you can see the gate and the milky glass I've just talked about. Do you hear that? So everything's on low, so very low amount of air goes in, probably in these cracks and here. But when you look at it here, you see what I've done? You see the difference in flame? So that's definitely gasification in the previous case. And you can actually see it going out of the pipe. I just wanted to show what gasification in this cool little stove looks like. So in the back you see a pipe, hopefully. And you can see the bluish flame. And that's oxygen coming from the secondary air vent. So if I do this, you can see the top white part, which is basically the top exit of the pipe. It's lidless or capless. This is the cap, basically, and hexagonal with some holes and another piece of pipe with slots cut in. But this is what it looks like when it's burning. You can see it, and every now and then there's a flicker. So that pipe is cut all the way, literally throughout its length. It has slots made with a angle grinder. Gasification. Here you can see white hot embers and a raging fire. And as I close the primary air supply, which lets cold air in, and open the secondary air supply, which is superheated, you can see the immediate effect of gasification. Here I have opened both the primary and the secondary air supplies.
She is burning all right.
And now I've closed the primary air supply and you can see the difference. At this point there were only embers left in the furnace. There was no burning wood and the effect of gasification is still going on. I have also tested for curing purposes if these clamps will hold my wood stove glass, which I will just install. Let's hope it will last. Okay, this is the first lighting with the new glass, with the new gasket. I've used only 4 drops of silicone and let's see how it performs. It looks like there's absolutely nothing, but I assure you there is. So far so good. It literally looks like there is absolutely nothing. So far I'm very happy. I kept fiddling with it just to see how she runs, and she runs fine.
In a way, the tall, upright design of the stove makes it behave like a rocket stove, in the sense that the fuel is always burning very centrally, very localized at maximum intensity. Therefore, there's very little smoldering, smoke, and everything gets turned to heat. Like this wood stove has very, very little amount of ashes being produced. The next step was logical, to connect it in the house, and hopefully all of these flames would not go towards my face but actually down the flue. So that's the next step.
Here are the disassembled parts. So this is the adapter. I think it's 110mm to 120mm. It's for the exit flue. Actually, exit part here. And then it connects to 90-degree bend and into this very, very, very long flue. So it's 2 times 1 meter segments. The line is here. This is the top facing side. It's quite in a good shape. As I said, a little bit of build up, but considering what I've burned, I'm absolutely amazed. I am not seeing any cobweb, creosote, nothing. It's just ashes. Okay, this is what she looks like assembled. I need to fill in the cracks just below the rosette, actually above the rosette, and the chimney is ready to be assembled. I'm on my attic at the moment and you're seeing the top side of the ugly ceiling hole. I poured concrete and assembled everything, put the rosette and the flue back into the place. I've also stripped the mortar, fireproof mortar. I think it was rated as 1200 degrees Celsius, but it cracks. And I've put silicone, you cannot see it, but it's actually in the cracks here. In the cracks, in the voids between the cast iron and the body. And I also need to repaint it with this spray. It's acting up on me, but hey, 800 is still going. The whole furnace is painted with it except this part, but you can see it's still a little bit filthy, but it's holding on. No damage there whatsoever. First burn since I completed the chimney.
As I predicted, the overall height of the flue is so high and the draft is so strong that none of the flames exit into the room through the feeding gate.
Self-cleaning suit.
For the handle, I'm using a spent CO2 cartridge. Another benefit of this stove is that I can use really long pieces of wood and then not waste time cutting them, as long as they're narrow enough to fit from the top. So I spend half the time processing wood. Overall, I'm very happy with the wood stove. I do like its tall design, which is self-feeding. It behaves like a rocket stove and burns at maximum heat all the time. It produces very little ash, so it's low maintenance, and the draft is amazing. So yeah, I advocate for this style of wood stoves to come back.